Hey, 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 hey. This is Come On You Spurs TV, where we were going to do a live stream of the post-match analysis of the match between Tottenham and Manchester United. It's Ange Postecoglou's first home game in charge in the Premier League, and we hosted Manchester United. What a performance. To go over it with me, I've got two guests in the studio, and you'll meet them on the other side. In the meantime, come on, you Spurs. Welcome, 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 welcome. This is Come On You Spurs TV, where we talk about everything Spurs. Like I said to you earlier, to join me today to review the match between Tottenham and Manchester United, I've got with me Deji, and I've also got Ben. Before I get them to say a word or two, I'd just like to say that if you're joining us for the first time, please leave your comments, subscribe, like and share with your colleagues or family or network people and people in your network, who you think would benefit from this. And for those of you who support us, I want to say a very, very big thank you. What a match! What a match! Now, I don't have words to describe it. I know we've had, plenty of talk about Tottenham preseason, first few matches, and the Postecoglou, the whole works. Now, we've come into what you might call maybe the first big test, if you like. And you reckon they passed with colours, or did they pass? I mean, that test. I mean, what do you say, Deji?
Hi guys. Hi, Soji. Hi, Ben. Good to see you guys again. I think they passed with flying colors. I think it was a bit of a half and half the first half, but the second half, I thought they were brilliant. And I thought they handled the opposition very well. And when we got in front, they controlled the game right to the end, kept a clean sheet. I thought they were brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Now, it's easy to sort of give plenty of accolades and superlatives when you won the match, and it's all. I mean, but before we do that, just I mean, Ben, do you want to say? I mean, how are you? Are you great to have you here today.
Yeah. Pleased to be here, and pleased that this is the first home match, so I'm great to be here on the panel. The first home match, and it was a beauty to watch. So yeah, I'm just full of praise for the team. We're still building, we're still taking baby steps, but we took advantage of a Man United that had no defense, had no midfield, and the top three and the guys up top were waste of space. So I think for us, for Roy Keane, Roy Keane loves his Man United, but for Roy Keane to say on the TV this evening that what the hell were Man United playing at? They brought on this is they brought on you heard the thing as well. They brought on Martial. That they might as well brought on Stapleton or whatever his name was. That he was never going to win you the match. That was terrible. That was terrible. What he wanted to say was you might as well brought on your granny because Martial was never going to win that. Not on his own. So that was saying a lot about the Spurs team. We had a great match, and I can see the seeds of what Ange is trying to do. I only found out yesterday that Ange was short for Angelo, so I call him Angelo now because Ange sounds a bit funny. So Angelo Postecoglou sounds much better. But no, his brand of football to die for. You see how the forum was. The forum was just like heaving praise. Oh yeah, there were some people saying, "Oh, they don't like Angibo," but that's for them. Those are people that are they actually they survive off of moaning. So we leave them to one side. But
What do they like then?
they
Goodness.
don't like anything. They just like to moan. They like moaning,
Yeah.
and and that's why sometimes in the forum I sometimes say I fuse about the football, and I still say Enik out to take the piss out of them because they just
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
Guys,
like
now let me just say to those watching us, wherever you may be watching us from, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. You're joining us for the first time. This is Come On You Spurs TV. Yeah, well, this is very interactive. So it's not just us talking. If you have any comments, please put them in the comment section, and we'll put them out for everyone to see. I've got Dave Clark. Dave Clark from Leicester. Dave Clark says, "Do you want to read out the comment, Deji?"
Yeah, it says, hi from Leicester. It's about time Spurs fans listen to this wise old man. After watching 10 minutes of Sa, I said he would be a superstar. I said Bissouma was world class when fans said he was rubbish. So, yeah, that's a man who obviously doesn't go to the same school as Antonio Conte.
yeah, and we have to say that Dave Clark is I suppose he's pointing to himself as being a wise old man. So I don't know about the old. You don't look old, but you are certainly wise.
If you consider that
Yes,
Dave has been watching Spurs since 1961, so that tells you a lot, doesn't it?
it does.
Oh wow!
Right. So yes,
he must have been about
thank you very much for that comment.
Wow.
I've got a comment also from Izu Okafor. Ben, do you want to take that?
Yeah, he says, awesome play by Spurs. What a time to be alive. I will take a good performance any day. Of course. And Izu is saying the right thing. Somebody was saying in the forum that now, is it just winning that's everything, or is it winning and playing well? And I said, mate, you play well and you win. I don't want to say something rude, but it is great. It's absolutely brilliant when you play well, when you win, because if you don't play well and you just win, you just hammer out a win, like Ange was saying yesterday. He said just to win, he could go out there and get a win, 1-0 win. But you forget about it after a few days. But this one, geez, I'm going to watch it again tonight, no, tomorrow, because they're going to replay it on Spurs Play. I'm going to watch it tomorrow and the next day as well. I'm just going to watch it because I just love watching their football. It's absolutely brilliant. So he does a lot for you. So yeah, Izu, you're absolutely spot on.
Now, when I saw the starting lineup, he lined up with a 4-2-3-1 formation. We had Porro coming in for Emerson, and I had Sa coming in for Oliver Skip. And boy, I thought Sa did an absolutely brilliant job. But before we go to what he did in that match overall, Dave obviously saw what I saw, because the first 30 minutes, he says that in the first 30 minutes, Udogie and Porro really concerned me. They were so poor on the half turn, but as the game went on, they found more space, so they didn't even have to do the half turn. Because I don't know if you remember that there was 3 times when Porro got the ball and lost it, because he had to try and do the half turn, and then he just couldn't sort of manage it, and he kept having to go at Vicario during at that point in the match. But what I found interesting was how we gradually grew into the game. The confidence grew after a while. I think at first maybe they gave Man United a bit too much respect, if you like. But in the second half, when they played with a lot more assurance and with more authority, you could see that almost as if the Man United midfield did not exist. Bissouma almost like single-handedly bossed that midfield. Like he and Maddison, they were running rings around the Man United midfield, and I thought to myself, this is how I love to see my Tottenham play. And someone said something which I think I'll get you guys to comment on later on. Someone said something on one of the forums I belong to, and he said, defensively solid, midfield popping, attack poor. And so the other person replied and said, oh, this is a role reversal of what we had in the past. First it was like, oh, our front three was no problem, Midfield, okay, but defense was poor. But this time it seems as if the whole thing just kind of had a turnaround. You're smiling.
Yeah. I think we've got to realize that we have a team that's learning to play in a particular way. And we also have players who are learning to play new roles that they're not exactly used to. I think in terms of the defense, he pretty much has round pegs in round holes. So you've got them doing well. And in the midfield, Bissouma has got the role that suits him perfectly. And I thought Sarr was an inspired change because what's his name, who played against Brentford, really didn't impress in that game. I mean, that's a completely
Oliver.
different game. What's his name?
Oliver.
Oliver, yeah, Skippy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Skippy didn't impress. But again, that was a completely different type of football match. I think Sa was perfectly suited to this one, and he dovetailed excellently with Busuma in the center of the midfield. I think as time goes on, the front three may need a little bit of tweaking. I'm not sure that Sonny did much better when he switched to the central role, but again, he didn't have too long to play in that position. He seemed to be finding his feet out on the left as the game went on. So I think there's a lot to watch and there's a lot to be hopeful about in the front.
Ben, you saw
Yeah.
how we set up today, right? And ultimately, it shows with Ange ball that even though you have a good attack, if you like, I mean, you don't. All the goals can come from any angle, if you like, because if you look at the scorers today, who scored? Sa and okay, a bit of good fortune from Davis, but he had to be there to have that good fortune in the first place, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For me,
Because
that's Ben Davis' goal.
but that was actually moving into the box, and overloading on that side, and we came close quite a few times while Udogie was on as well, with the same type of play, So for me, I just find that handball is so malleable. It's not fixed. You're finding Udogie drifting to the right hand side, coming back to the left. Poro. It was just absolutely a delight to watch. Ben, what do you think?
Yeah, you know what? I got to agree with you. If you watch the match against Brentford, you know who scored? Royale scored one, and what's his face? The defender, Kuti. So Royal and Kuti. So from defense, so Royal and Kuti scored, and today defense scored again. Well, not defense. Yeah, one defender and one midfielder. But you see the front three. If the front three start firing, I don't even know what we're going to be playing. So we're still getting all these goals with our defenders and midfield scoring, popping in. But it's obviously because we're playing so far forward. See, the guys are playing with reckless abandon. They're not afraid to play in the front. Keep everyone, keep the opposition busy. You see, there's a team that played today that I thought was trying to play like us. They were playing without any defenders. But I think people have got wind of it, that if you want to play football and entertain the people, play front footy, and if they score one against you, you probably score two or three. And that's the way to play. So for me, that was a brilliant setup. I love the way he didn't bring Skippy in, because Skippy was probably still flying off of his 2 goals against Barcelona. And then he went into Brentford. But Brentford, Brentford a different proposition from playing against Man United. We know this, because Brentford were going to sit back. They sat back, but they still scored. But gets me. I don't know how they do it. They still scored so many goals because they got Bisa, he scored 1, and Buma, or whatever his name, scored 2. So they're not missing Ivan Tony. So it does surprise me. But that being so, Man United are a totally different proposition to playing against Brentford. So we had to change things up. We had to switch things up, and we did the right thing. We have 2. If you look at it this way, Skippy and Sarr are 2 gems, 2 young guys. I mean, the team is full of young guys, but Skippy and Sarr are 2 young guys that we can actually apply to each game as we play. Different kind of game we play them in. I think Sarr is phenomenal. I think I know David's going to say something. He said something. I love Madison. Yeah, Dave has been watching Sarr and Bis, and he has only good things to say about them. And I think he's right. I think he's absolutely right that those guys are going to be absolutely wonderful. I'd like to get his take, if you can say something about Richarlison, because I think we all want somebody to say something about Richarlison, because he seems to be carrying around a whole bag of balls on his back. He can't seem to score, So I don't know. Here we go. Sorry for Richarlison's not the answer to Spurs.
Speaking of which, Richarlison, Dave has a comment about
Oh,
Richarlison.
God. No, David. That is so wicked.
That's not nice,
no.
Dave. I thought you were nice, eh?
I know.
No,
Yeah.
you know what? You know. I think Ange has it right. I think he's going to give Richarlison. He's going to give him a run in the side, and hopefully the ball is going to break for him. He's going to get a couple of goals. Right now, he's snatching at everything. He's desperate to do well. He's always scared that he's going to get hauled off, which happened today. But I think if he gets a few games and he sticks a couple in, I think we'll see a completely different player. I don't think he's nearly half as bad as people think he is. I think he's all right. But guess what? I think Maddison is the business of the summer. I think, and that includes HK to Bayern, if I can say so. Maddison is the best business of the summer. He is Tottenham through and through, and he was magnificent today. And he goes past players, he cuts the ball in, he crosses. He's just the man we've been looking for since Erik.
Yeah, I think he's just the creative spark we needed in our midfield for such a long time. And he's come on, and I also think that I thought at some point he would bring on Lo Celso, but I just saw that. Look, I think he would find it a bit difficult to play Lo Celso and Maddison at the same time, so he's probably just prefers Maddison for now. Maybe in other games he might bring on Lo Celso, because the games I've seen Lo Celso play so far in preseason up to now, it's been absolutely phenomenal. Now, but I think we're getting. We've only seen 2 matches so far, so it's early days, and okay, fine. One's got sort of contained excitement, but it's heading in the right direction. You can see at a glance what Ange Postecoglou is all about. We played 2 matches. First match was a totally different proposition from this one, and this one was a big test in itself, because Man United, okay, fine, they didn't play that great last week, but granted, they hadn't played that great either today, but they did have a few chances. If we look at the chances they had in the first half, I think which they didn't take. I think we got off on some of them, but I guess in every match you're going to have people who have chances anyway. So it comes around in roundabouts. But how do you think? Let's just go from back to front, right? And look at our back four, for instance, right? Now, I haven't seen us solid in a very, very long time, but today we kind of looked a lot more assured than we normally looked. I thought Van de Ven is quite the business. What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, go on. Yes.
So yeah, I think we show solidity because we don't have. When is Dyer leaving? When is he leaving? I think we look so solid, and I don't think that guy should be let anywhere near that team again. No, I don't think so. I think even if VDV gets injured, I think we should bring Richarlison to play in defence. I don't think we should actually bring Dyer anywhere near the defence because they look so assured. Dyer is our Maguire. It's a shame that their names sound similar, but Dyer is our Maguire, and I think he should just leave the club already. So it was very assured. Young boys, the Dogier. Just to let David know, because Dave spelled his name Ndogie or something, but his name is Udogie. He's with a U. But he and Van de Ven played absolutely brilliantly. And what do you say about Kuti? Kuti Morero was absolutely brilliant. Porro could have scored. I always worry about Porro because of his defensive skills and he gets caught. But when we're keeping them busy up top, then there's less for him to do at the back. And we know that if they start running back, Porro is going to be cooked. But we don't care as long as we score 2 or 3 goals up top, we'll be okay. I feel that with Porro we have more chance of scoring, which is why they played him. With Romero, we have a better chance of defending, which is why they probably played him against.
I just love Dave Clark. Dave says.
What does he say now?
Fernandez has
a well-balanced player because he has the match chip.
That is absolutely spot on. That is absolutely spot on. I couldn't agree more. It's the delight for opposition because it's going to moan, so get booked. And if you try well
Yeah.
enough, you're probably going to get sent off. Granted, he's so he's got. I mean, I think he got quite wound up quite a bit today, possibly because he didn't take his chance that he had. I mean, maybe he thought it was offside, But hey, that went
He was
in our favor.
open chance. Open
But
chance. He was there. He was
I
there. He's the only one that had the ticket. He was there, center of the funfair, and he didn't know what to do, and he just went boom and just headed the ball over. That's why I said to my brother, because I got a brother who's a Man United supporter, and he was all over me yesterday. And he said, he doesn't got time to talk to banter with small teams. I said, yeah. No, listen, we're a small team. I beg, sorry, we're a small team and we won't even do anything, and I won't even banter with you. Don't worry. You're a big team, but Spurs is a team that I supported when I was a baby, and nothing will make me change. But you know what? No problem. But today I told him, listen, we're still building. I think it made it worse. I said we're still building. We're still building. Sorry that we beat you, but we'll have a bad week one day. But I told you yesterday, because I told him yesterday. I said, you guys got an empty midfield, and the commentators were saying it, that Wolves were going right through the middle of you because you had no midfield. And he was telling me no, he doesn't want to banter that I'm a small team. I said, okay, I'm just pointing out something to you. So get midfield. So I told you today again, get midfield, but Belair. And he went away with his tail between his legs and said, oh, congrats to me. I said, well, listen, you might win another match. But I said, I pity you if you play Arsenal next week.
yeah, so I mean, we started with the back four, but maybe we should have started with Vicario. Now, Vicario, obviously, big boots to fill in the sense that he's become number one, taking over from Hugo Lloris. Okay, Hugo probably had what you might call maybe shaky last couple of seasons before he finally. I mean, he hasn't left the club, but I think he will probably leave at some point. I mean, good and faithful servant. That maybe about perfect time for him to leave, and thank him very much for all the service he's put in for us. But Vicario has come in. I mean, okay, he and Onana came in together. I mean, if you think about it, the last season in the Italian league, Onana was probably number one, and Vicario possibly was probably number two behind Onana. And I think today I thought he gave a quite solid performance. I mean, he had one or two saves to make, and when called upon to make those saves, maybe he did a spectacular for the cameras, but I mean, he pulled up the save when he needed to. And I thought he was quite assured with his feet as well. Didn't give us any scary moments, except for maybe at one point when a pass went to Porto in the first half. I mean, on the half turn, he kind of lost it. But apart from that, I thought he acquitted himself very well. I think he deserves plenty of credit. Deji, you're going to say something.
Yeah, absolutely. For those who care to know, Vicario comes with a huge reputation from the Italian league as a top-rate shot stopper and a goalkeeper who can play very well with his feet. I noticed in the first game he was extremely nervous, and because of that, tended not to try to use his feet. In fact, he kicked long a lot of the time and threw the ball out. But as he's growing in confidence, we will see not only the excellent shot stopping, which we saw quite a bit of today, but we'll see his distribution improve as well. I think he's a great choice, and people have been crying about us not getting Raya, but I don't think we're going to ever regret not getting David Raya. I think this kid is going to be the bee's knees. I understand he's 6'5". I didn't realize he was that tall. I understand he's 6'5". So he's going to bulk up a bit as the years go by. He's going to get stronger. But even the crosses didn't seem to bother him today. I thought he did really well today. He did really well.
Yeah, as I say, give him flowers. That Vicario, he's a keeper and a half. I mean, I saw two magnificent saves he made, and to tell you the truth, all the fans that are watching. Again, I've got brothers and sisters to support. I'm the only one that supports Tottenham, but the rest of them support Arsenal and Man United. But the Arsenal ones were like, they were raving about Vicario and saying he's a fantastic keeper, and he is. He's very agile. It's when opposition fans start to big up the keeper that you got a keeper. He is very agile, and lots of people, especially in our forum, have been doing him down. But the thing is that I tend not to listen to negativity from the forum because, like I said, some people just trade in. They just trade in negativity. Is what keeps them going. So the less attention we pay to it, the better. But Vicario for me has been a find, and he's actually showing us what he can do. He will have ricks. He will have days when something happens, because you can't save everything. But from what I've seen so far, he's been he's a worthy successor to Hugo. And all flowers to Hugo as well. Hugo was magnificent in I mean, I didn't realize how many years he's been there, but he's been fantastic. And while he's been with us, he won the World Cup as well. So no, Hugo's been great. He maybe should have left last year rather than this year, but still, you got to leave. You got to leave sometime. And I think he's finally left at the right time. So lucky for us. If he had left last year, he probably would have got Vicky. So now we've got Vicario. Let's onwards and upwards. Let's see what happens.
Fantastic. I mean, before the match started, there was this amazing tifo that they made for Mr. Ange Postecoglou by the Spurs fan on the south stand, you know, where it says "Welcome to N17," especially for because that was for him and for all the new players that we just got over the summer. Madison, Vicario, Doggy, who came in. Of course, I mean, this is his only back from loan, even though we got him last season. This is his first time playing a home match. Home match in the Premier League in front of the fans, you know. And Madison and Mana Solomon, you know. So that was quite pleasing to see. And yeah, I think that added to the atmosphere at the beginning, sort of gave them a bit of a pump up, you know. But I just love how we turned up today. I mean, like I said, it's kind of started a little bit slow, giving them maybe a little bit too much respect. But like I said, I guess as the match progressed, then sort of impose ourselves on the game in that much more of a stronger fashion. That midfield of Bissouma and Sarr, if you like. Okay, Madison kept, you know, I think one of the keys to Ange's game is that those inverted fullbacks that keep coming into the midfield to load that up that area. I think at the beginning we had trouble breaking the press, because you could see that Man United were trying to sort of press us very early, you know, and we're having difficulty coming out and breaking through the press. I think that had to do with a bit of maybe lack of confidence at the beginning, or maybe nerves, for all the better expression. But when they overcame that, I mean, it became almost like easy peasy to break the press anytime they had the press on against us. And Bissouma was just absolutely majestic in that role. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, is it me? Because I was like, somebody said they almost wet themselves, you know, when they watch it play.
No,
that just
to
me,
be honest with you, to be honest with you, I feel so bad about how Bissouma was treated last season, because it's a wasted year, because he wasn't used the way he can play. Now, of course, that's probably due to the way Conte wanted to set up, but it was such a shame to have such a good player in your ranks and to lose him or not effectively use him for a whole season. Yes, he was injured for some time, but he just wasn't given his props. Now, obviously, Ange has seen him and knows what he's worth, and basically says, this midfield belongs to you. You run it. The only thing I would say, sometimes he's a little bit over elaborate. Sometimes he's a little bit, and I'm being extremely critical here, he's a little bit ponderous on the ball. But his ball control, his ball winning skills, his distribution, his ability to ghost past players, like Musa Dembele style, is like, it's
I swear.
incredible. And
I swear.
it's a joy to watch. Yeah. Yeah.
Now that is. I mean, did you see the way he just twists his hips? He just twists his hips, and then
Yeah.
the player goes that way, then he goes the other way. That now in
Yeah.
school they call that one body. He doesn't give them body.
Yeah. He drops his shoulder, he twists his hips, and the players
Yeah.
two players. Sometimes it's a pivot right in the middle, and two
Yeah.
players are lost. His turn, he has the ball and he's walking. It's brilliant.
Guy, I love it, man.
I've
It's
been
so
praying
good.
for this for years. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's good.
Guys, now Pape Mate Sarr. This guy is 20 years old, right? Plays for Senegal. Was brilliant in the World Cup against England, and you saw his potential. And a lot of people said that he's like the new Vieira and Yaya Toure combined into one. And today, I think he was absolutely fantastic. I mean, I was really, really delighted for him for many, many reasons. A, because he's young, he's very talented, and you can see that his confidence is growing, and it's going to turn into an immense star for us. I mean, you can just see it.
Humongous. Humongous. He's going to be so big. The kid is going to be so big. Oh my goodness.
I mean, okay, so
He's brilliant. Yeah.
those two in midfield. I mean, Bissouma, who, like I said, was beastly, if you like. It was like in beast mode all through. I mean, 2 matches in a row, he's got man of the match. That says a lot. And Dave, thank you for this comment, guys. Maybe Ben should read this out. I mean, I'm just sort of tired of I'm a bit bored of superlatives I've been cracking about Bissouma today.
And David said, I think Bissouma was magic boots. Regarding him last season, don't forget he had long COVID and then a serious ankle injury. And the reason he's lethargic because it sucks opponents in that he accelerates. It sucks in opponents in then he has, yeah, that's true. Yeah, he does do that. Then he accelerates and then just a little wobble of his hips like a little worker bee, and then sends people. I won't be surprised if some of the guys trying to chase him just end up sitting down on the ground because he just make it is what you call a hip breaker. What he does to them, they could just fall down, sit down, and say, "No, we're not doing it anymore. I'm fed up of playing." Because he does do that. He is magic boots. I think he's a combination of our Ndembele back then and Wanyama, because he helps destroy game. He destroys the game, and because I don't think that Dembele did what Wanyama did. They were two different players, but I think with Bis we've got a combination of both players. Destroy the football and also give us some nice flair off the ball. So I'm happy. I'm over the moon with what we got, with what they've given to Ange for him to cook, and I think he's cooking a nice meal. Personally,
We had this episode where we said we want to see what Ange is cooking at Tottenham. And if you want to see that, that's probably one of the. I mean, you can go to the channel and see and watch that. And I think in one of those episodes we kind of discussed how he would set up in his team based on how he basically set up at Celtic, and we can see those shoots being played out this way. Like I was saying, last week when we had this program on. Before he came to Tottenham, I knew next to nothing about Ange, until he got appointed. And I went and do a bit of research into him. And my goodness, he is such a refreshing breath of fresh air. I mean, if you listen to him, I said he's like, he sounds a little bit like Sean Dyche in the way he speaks, and he has this amazing candor and demeanor that oozes immense emotional intelligence. He understands how to speak in a way. And someone said, look, it's okay if he's winning games now, right? But some people might regard that as, okay, maybe a little bit condescending when he doesn't win games. We'll see. But I mean, for now, I think he's spot on. He's got the tone right. He's got his he speaks very well, and it looks like he has a very, very good handle on things. Granted, it's early days, and but we can see that things are heading in the right direction. I mean, Deji, what do you think?
Yeah, I like you. I knew absolutely nothing about him before he got appointed. So I did the research, and I didn't even know Celtic had done as well as they done last season, won the treble. I had no idea. And then I got to find out more about his philosophy, his ideology, and his belief systems, his values. And he's such an interesting guy. Like you say, I can't remember a coach that we've had that was such a joy to listen to at press conferences. And he is forthright. He tells it to them like he's, and where he's had to be diplomatic, he's been diplomatic. I remember throughout the whole Kane saga, he handled it perfectly. It must have been very difficult for him to keep everything under wraps and to still appear to be giving as much information as he could possibly give while managing the situation, I thought he did it extremely well. I'm looking forward to his press conferences because I make sure I listen to each and every one of them word for word to know how the coach's mind is working, what he's happy about, and even the vibe that he's trying to give to the players. And you'll notice, even when he's happy with them, he talks about the things that are good, and those things that are good are more about his ideology, not that we won, but that you guys are, it seems you are getting what I want you to be doing. And that pleases him more than anything else because he believes that if they play the way he wants them to play, we will definitely win things. And I believe he's right.
This is Come On You Spurs TV, where we talk about everything Spurs. Like I said, today we just reviewing the match between Tottenham and Manchester United. Tottenham came away with a two-goal win with goals from Papa Matassa early part of the first half and lit goal from Davis. Now, those goals came like what you might call in the nick of time. I mean, talk us through that first goal. I mean, Deji.
Yeah, I think the first goal came at a time when we were just beginning to get a foothold in the game. Ball went out to the right, and I was thinking, oh goodness, it's Kulu again. It's going to cut in and lose the ball. But a perfect pass to the byline, what I've been asking and praying for them to do all season, and he cut it back.
And guess what? He used his right foot.
Yeah.
He used his right foot.
He used his right foot. Absolutely. He cut it back with his right foot. And I think that is how Ange ball is going to work. Get them on the front foot, push them to the byline and cut back. And he wants the players to play the high line so that the midfielders are arriving in the box as that ball is coming back. So it's not so much about the strikers getting goals, but the midfielders arriving. That's exactly what Sarr did. That is an excellent goal. Excellent goal.
Excellent technique. On some of that days, my flew over the crossbar, but this one went into the roof of the net.
Not with my boy Sarr.
Right. So
people call him my bookie. People are very wicked. Arsenal fans are calling him my bookie.
They didn't call Vieira a bookie, but they are calling him a bookie.
Because he looks like a bookie. Yeah, so they call him a bookie because he's dark. But you know what? He's our own bookie. We love him.
Anyway, we'll probably just let's move on from so okay, so Maddison. Now, will someone please tell me about Maddison today? I mean, I thought he was majestic as well. You know, we had a lot of good performances across the board. I mean, from the back to the midfield. Okay, if I was going to be a little bit negative, and probably just say, okay, maybe Richarlison was probably the only one you would say that. But for me, he was still hurrying defenders and getting them, putting them under pressure and creating space for other people to run into. So I guess that's part of his job, So I think he did his own job as well as he could have, but I'm not sure he had that many opportunities to actually put the ball in the back of the net. I mean, there were no clear opportunities as such for him. But what he was meant to do, I thought he did it quite reasonably well. I mean, it could have been better in some respect, but hey, you can't have it all, can you? Ben.
No, you can't have it all. But if we're talking about Maddison, I mean, he's the missing piece. See, the thing for me is that match, I could have given the man of the match to any one of those players because they all played out their skin apart from Richie. Richie did play out his skin, but he was thinking too much about scoring. The rest of the players they don't think about scoring. They think about making the team work. Just like what Son said. No, not Son. Bissouma. They asked Bissouma, why does he play so well? He said, look, this is not Bissouma FC. This is Tottenham Hotspur FC. I play for the good of the team. And I think Richie should stop worrying about scoring goals. They paid 60 million for him. It wasn't his fault. They paid 60 million. They could equally have waited one more year and paid 20 million for him. Then it'd be worth less. You should take that off his mind. I think someone should tell him to forget about Antonio from West Ham or West Spam, who keeps on taking the mickey out of him. Forget about him. I mean, all he needs to do is tell him, what club are you in? What club are you in? You're in West Spam. Fine. That's it. Just do that and forget it. but he's in Spurs and he should just concentrate on trying to make the collective work. Forget about the goals will come to him. In the future, he will get the goals he needs. But in Ange ball system, you don't need an out-and-out striker. You need someone to harass them to allow other people to score. And you should look at it and find out that we've got, out of the 4 goals we scored this season, 4 goals in 2 matches, 3 have come from defenders and only 1 from a midfielder, nothing from the striker. And we won both of them. So he should relax. I think Madison he's been a very important part of the jigsaw for me, and he's going to make us tick. And I'm so happy we've got Madison and we've got Lo Celso. Oh, I'm so happy. You guys don't even know. They have Lo Celso and Madison when we should have had Ndom Bad Boy and Lo Celso when it mattered. We didn't have him. So for me, he's taking the place of Ndom Bad Boy, who can go do one, while we keep Lo Celso and Madison to keep us going. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. It's going to be, like I said, just go and buy your Google down there and keep it somewhere and just be chopping it.
And remember, guys, we've got Ben 10 to come back. We've still got Ben 10 to come back.
Right, so you can imagine that Spurs midfield is going to be cooking under Ange. So I mean, it's a good time.
Don't forget. It's good. I think we're cooking something that may be very, very sweet. I think we're cooking something that may be very sweet. I thought Matters was great. Yeah, he was. It was really good, and he makes a difference. He has that flair and that magic that even just raises the team. Just to see him go on one of those runs or flash one of those crosses, you know you have a player there that can make things happen. Talking about Charlison, my feeling is that he needs to be carefully managed. I was a bit disappointed to see him taken off today. I thought the coach should have left him on and let him do his business as best he can so that he just calms down. Taking him off, I think, again, is going to heap the pressure on him. I don't think it made that much of a difference. I suspect that the coach wanted to see how Sonny would be down the middle, but I think he could have done that in another game. I was a bit disappointed to see him take Rishi off because he needs help. He really needs help. And I think he'll be fine if he gets that help. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, Dave says that the midfield trio of Saab, Bissouma, and Madison, there's no better trio in the Premier League at the moment. I mean, that's a big one. But hey, some will argue against that. But hey, we'll take that.
There's no better one.
It's better than Man United. It's better than Man United's one. Man United 3. They were on holiday. They went on holiday.
Yeah.
Now, I mean,
but guys, what's going on there?
I'm not interested, to be honest, but hey, you know.
I hear you.
This coming from a Tottenham, this coming from an Arsenal fan. Let me read out the comment, right? It says, "Not even Howard Webb could save United today. Spurs deserve this. They look like a team free to play. United look slow on feet and lacking the personnel to allow their better players to shine. As I write better players, I wonder if better players are overrated. Come on, I mean, so well, let's just take maybe a fleeting glance at the other side, just for a few seconds, right? In comparison to Man U today, I mean, I thought my guys were on top of their game today. They made them look very, very ordinary.
Yes, I think totally so. But I wonder tactically what Ten Hag had in mind. Casemiro alone in the middle of the park, without a second defensive midfielder, I really didn't get. Unless he underestimated Tottenham. He knew we were going to play on the front foot with Ange ball. So what on earth did he have in mind, isolating Casemiro in the center of the park? He didn't have a prayer. They were just going past him. I'm sure he got a creak in the neck just watching the guys fly past him, you know. And the contributions he had were the headers, which you know, the picture book save by Vicario, I think that was in the second half, and another attempt on goal. But in terms of his defensive work, he was invisible.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Come On You Spurs TV, where we talk about everything Spurs. If you're joining us for the first time, we talk about everything Spurs. Today we're having a live stream talking about the match between Tottenham and Manchester United. You can see how excited we are. Of course, we won 2-0, and this is a good day to be a Spurs fan. I think those Spurs fans that were at the ground today would have walked home feeling satisfied, and all talk about Levi out and Erik out will probably take a back seat for now. But we'll come to the transfer business and the team in a minute. But overall, if you had to look at the team and think about the philosophy of a coach, right, and how you think, okay, we're heading in the right direction, or maybe there's probably not the way to go, or it doesn't give you plenty of room for confidence, or there's plenty of building. Having said that, and I said that for a number of reasons, right? So people have been, some people have very great starts, and you can see that things are going head in the direction, and then sometimes maybe things fall off the train of thought. But what you see here, for me, I think it's just one of those things that tell you that I think we've got ourselves a gem here. I think Tottenham have themselves a superb coach who can play a system that you can see and is going to put a lot of fear in their position in times to come. Some might say that, okay, Man United not at their best today, but you can only play what you got in front of you, And we're playing at home for crying out loud, and I think overall, I thought we gave them a really, really good run for their money. Well deserved victory, if you ask me. What do you guys think? Did you want to say something?
Yeah, I thought we were great. I thought we gave them a jolly good roasting in the second half. Yeah, it's early days, and it's easy to get carried away after a victory like this. But I think what I was looking out for is to see a team imbibing the coach's philosophy, and I think I see a team doing that. I also see a team with players that have been selected to play in a particular way. And it looks as if we have many of the right players for those positions. I think we'll still improve because we still have quite a lot on that. I think the cameo by Solomon when he came on with those two brilliant turns.
Oh yeah, I saw those. Oh, wow, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic turns. So we've got that still on in our locker. And like Ben said earlier, we haven't even given Lolo a run yet. And when he comes on, look, we've got quite a bit going for us. If anything else, maybe we need somebody, a real battle axe defensive midfielder, whenever we can go out and get someone like that, who will be a specialist defensive midfielder for the days when we have to play maybe 2 or 3 in the middle of the park, or we're playing City or Barcelona or something like that. I think that's the only thing. Højbjerg came on and he did well. I think he was the one who gave that ball away, right? The square pass across the back four. Yeah. Was that him? Yeah, that was him. So we don't want any of that.
I think he's on his way out. That's probably why he did that. I didn't even know why they brought him. I was worried when they brought him on, because I was like, he's not playing for the team. He wants to go to Atleti. So let him go. Don't play him. But I guess they had to play him because there's no one else. But I think we need to. Anything I think he's the one that messed up the ball when we played against Watford. I think not against Watford, Barcelona. He just kicked the ball up from defense. But that's not the way we play football. Just kick the ball. Mm-hmm. And then we all fell apart at that time. So I think the sooner they get rid of Højbjerg, the better. Let him go to Atleti, or even go to Accrington Stanley, somewhere else anyway, apart from being in our team. So yeah, it's a good. I will never run out of stuff to say about Spurs under Ange. I'll never run out of stuff to say. It was just, even if we play crap, because I told you I'm gonna watch this match again tomorrow, because I missed all those turns you're talking about. Because sometimes, to tell you the truth, sometimes I was like, especially first half, I was like, oh man, I really don't want to see. I really had this feeling that they were gonna step on us. I really did. I don't know why I felt that way. Maybe it's because of the history between Tottenham and Man United. And I thought they're gonna turn it on, and they're gonna, especially when he sat when Bernardo was not Bernardo. This guy was standing their captain, was standing in front of the goal,
Fernandez.
and he could have headed it into the net. Fernandez, he could have headed it into the net, and I'm like, oh no. Yeah. So I thought, here we go. But and in that penalty shout, I thought, oh, they're gonna give this penalty again, just like they give against Sonny. But lucky, like somebody said, Howard Webb was probably having an off day, because I tell you what, I was teasing my brother over the weekend, during the week. I said, oh, we're gonna play. This is the team that we're gonna play against on Saturday, and I didn't list any of their players. It was just the linesman, the referee, the VAR that we're going to play against them today. And so he was laughing. But unfortunately, Howard Webb wasn't watching the screen, or he probably didn't go to Specsavers. So we had a good day. I'm sure we had a great day.
I think the other thing which a lot of people will say is that, I mean, someone passed a comment say for me, is the fact that, I mean, why this is so exciting or even pleasing, the fact that, okay, fine, okay, we've got a few more good players, but the vast majority of that team are the same players we had last season. So, it tells you that it's the coaching. It just tells you that it's the coaching, how you deploy those players in those positions. Okay, fine, we have Madison now, but the vast majority of what we had is still the same guys we had there last season. How come they're playing so fantastic this season? Does anybody have any explanation for what I've said?
Easy.
Well,
good,
yeah, go on, Ben. Yeah, yes, Ben.
No, I was going to say it's easy. It's easy to know because they did a comparison, and it was on the TV. Obviously, they did a comparison, and the whole team is further up the pitch. Simple as the whole team is further up the pitch. We're leaving lots of empty space. We're playing a high line, and everybody is playing. So they have people to play to. I remember last season you tried to pass to someone, and the guy you're trying to pass to is probably still stuck in defense. There's a long and the ball's gonna get whipped from him. But now we play little triangles, 4 players playing triangles in very little space compared to what we had last season. So there's 2 things: we're higher up the pitch, and therefore compressing the play. And all those boys hated playing under Conte. I got to tell you, I know for a fact that they didn't like the kind of haram football that Conte was all about, and he used to shout a lot. And I don't think any of you like to work for someone who shouts at work. It's horrible. So they didn't like it. This guy is different. He's got a nice husky voice. He's a man's man, and he just tells them the way it is. Whereas Conte would just what. So they didn't like that. They didn't like that, and he was just shouting all over the place. And we saw what he was doing because in the end he did it on air, didn't he? He exposed himself and felt stupid for doing that. So no, I think it's simply that those are the facts, that we're playing higher up the pitch, and we're thinking about playing football on the front foot rather than passing it backwards. I think that's the biggest thing. Playing forward, because I even saw what's his name was saying. One of the players, I think it was Sar, was saying, play it forward. We're telling the player to play it forward because he wanted to go back. He said, play it forward. So if we have more players on the pitch telling each other to play the ball forward, that's better. You play the ball forward, then it keeps them on the back foot. So yeah, it's easy. For me, it's easy. It's an easy one.
Dave says he didn't hear Roy Keane say it's only Spurs today. Haha.
Lads, it's only Spurs. It's only Tottenham.
Yeah.
I know. I think it was more Ange saying to the guys, lads, it's only Man United. Go there and kick their backsides. Yeah.
I think so. So you'll also notice that we've changed the entire spine of our team. Our keeper's new. Our central defense with VDV alongside Kuti, that's more solid. And in the middle of the park, we've got Bissouma and Matters. So the core of the team is different. And I agree 100% that the boys didn't like to play under Conte. Who would? And you come to a team like Tottenham expecting to come and play attacking football, and what do you get? Conte's haram ball. It's only a matter of time before they rebel, which they did. And that's what happened. He came out and got himself fired. so that he could get his full pay. But I think the important thing though is that the spine of that team has changed. We have a new spine, and it's a very good one.
Keep your comments coming in. This is Come On You Spurs TV, where we talk about everything Spurs. Thank you for all the comments coming in so far. Keep them coming. It's interactive, like I said. We just looking at the match between Tottenham and Manchester United. First half, a little bit on the back foot to begin with, because I think the press was a little bit huge from Man United to begin with. I hope, like I said earlier on, we kind of give them a bit too much respect. However, we kind of grew into the game in the second half and open scoring with a nice move by Kulusevski, who squared it, and then when ball came to Sa, and he netted it. The second goal, that's the interesting one. Ivan Perisic came on in the second half, right? Now, for me, it just seemed like a perfect and I think Ange used the substitutes really well today. I mean, if you look at the changes that he made, he brought on Perisic for Dogie, right? And so he brought on Davis for Dogie and took off Richarlison and put Son in the middle. Sorry, and put on in the middle, and then had Perisic on the left, and he delivered the pass that led to the goal. And you saw the difference was huge when he came in, because he just kept cutting them open every time he went forward, and he was delivering some really telling passes and just creating a lot of havoc when it came on. And I asking myself, this is the same Perisic we had last season, right? I think the key has been the fact that he's been playing much more upfront. Because if you watch him, like everyone knows, when he plays for Croatia, he's always, further up the field. When he's playing further up the field, you get better results and a better impact from him. And that was just amply demonstrated today in the way that he bumped forward, in the way that he sort of set up play, and created loads of problems for Man U down that left side. I was really happy for him as well, because a lot of people said he was going to leave after Conte left. Probably going to sell him off this summer, but I think he's a key player to come on in the second half, especially when the other side may be tiring, or we have because if you look at Ange ball requires you to run 90 minutes non-stop. I was quite pleased for his performance as well. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, so I thought he had a good game when he came on. I noticed he fell over a couple of times when he just got on. I was wondering whether he had the wrong studs. But as soon as he got his feet, I thought he did very well. But remember last season, because of Conte's fixation with certain players like Perisic, he wanted him to play left wing back. And as he said, he didn't trust anybody else. Once Sessegnon was injured, and he was always injured, it was Perisic. Left wing back. Now that is too much for him, especially in the Premiership. At the pace of the Premiership, him tracking that touchline back and forth, there's no way he can get it done. But if he can come on and play out left as the left winger, as it were, more of a forward, he's more impactful, because he does go past players. He crosses the ball fantastic. His technique is top notch, and he's got a shot on him as well. So I thought it was a great substitution. I only feel I'd have liked to see him putting those crosses in for Richarlison instead of Sonny. But anyway, maybe on another day. I thought I had a good game.
Yeah, so we have, it seems suddenly that from a team that didn't have a lot of direction, you didn't seem to have plenty of skill in the team, you didn't seem to have what I call energy, vibe, and positivism. We suddenly become a team that have loads of options to play with. They brought on Mount Solomon in the second half, and he had that little cameo, like you said, when he sort of came out of a really tight spot with a bit of a nutmeg on one of their players. I thought that was really nice. And
Brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. I think Spurs were a joy to watch today. It was, a joy to watch really, really. And I know. Okay, it's early days, and obviously it's very easy to get excited and and sort of go over the top. But, I was trying to keep my excitement muted and measured, if you like. But however, you just sort of say to yourself, this is just the second match, competitive match we're playing this season, right? But like I said earlier on, you can see where things are going. We have, I mean, almost like we now have an abundance of riches. I'm thinking to myself, are these not the same guys? We just said just now, these are the same guys. How did you just suddenly transform this team into a team that plays really, really good football like this? I mean, in just a space of, okay, you had preseason, but we could see from day one that this is how this guy is going to play. And what I'm pleased about the most is the fact that I think it's going to confound a lot of critics or a lot of what I call pundits in the media who have this notion that I mean I was looking at the what's it called, the prediction for how teams are going to get placed at the end of the season, and no one gave us a chance at all. Nobody gave us a chance, Um, sorry.
People were saying we're not going to finish in the top two.
Sorry, I actually have to sort of read out this from Dave Clark. That is so funny. He says, "No, Price didn't have the wrong start. The game was so easy. Carpet sleepers. keep them coming. Keep them coming." Right. So yeah, I mean, someone asked a question. So with all of this, what I call abundance of riches, if you like, or talent that we got to play around with. How do you accommodate someone like Lo Celso when I mean in this team? How do you accommodate someone like Bentancur when he gets fit? How do you do that? I'd love to hear from you. What you guys think? Whatever you're calling from, I mean, please, would love to hear from you at home. How would you fit in people like Bentancur when he gets fit? How would you fit in even though they say Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is on his way out? I mean, assume that he stays. I think he's very energetic. I think he's very strong. I think he's very, very good. And I wouldn't like to lose him because I love his energy. I love his vibe. I love his drive. He's some of the guys that you can sort of say you can rely on 100% all the time because he has this, what I call it the Viking drive, if you like. That's that sort of, fighting spirit, You'd love to have him in a team and as a leader, Yeah, I think. What do you guys think? How are we going to manage this with all this abundance of talent? what do you think?
We're going to have to rotate too, because we're going to have to play. I mean, I think our strongest midfield is going to be Ben 10, Bissouma, and Sa. I think that would be the three.
No, where is Madison and where is Lo Celso? No creative.
Madison will play. Madison will have to play 10. Madison will have to play 10, and we're going to have to lose. We're going to have to lose Cooley or Richie. Somebody's going to have to go.
Just play. We should have no more wingers. We just play the whole Ben 10, Madison, Sa, Oliver Skip, Højbjerg, all of them in the middle. Then forget about Sonny and Kulu will fight with Richarlison for up top. We should play 4-5-1. 4-5-1.
Yeah, it's a good problem. It's a good problem to have for a coach, if you like,
Absolutely.
to have that abundance of talent to choose from, and it always gives you a huge selection headache. And at the same time, I would love to see how Ange manages this. I think he did a great job today of bringing on Emerson, or bringing on Paris Porro for Emerson, and Sa for Skip. I mean, it worked a treat because Sa was, a star performer today. Porro didn't do too badly either, So, I mean, I thought that was a master stroke of, again, this whole thing of keeping the squad happy, at the same time using your players in a way that doesn't sort of upset the balance of the squad. I thought that was really, really good. Andrew Ajura says Spurs played well, but 3 chances away. Yeah, we did. I mean, we had quite a lot of chances as well. You know, nobody can talk about final classifications now. Fair enough, but pundits in the press tend to do that, don't they? They sort of come up with classifications and say, oh yeah, I think Arsenal will win the title, or Man City will win the title, or Chelsea might run away with it, or they come up with all sorts of things, and they justify those reasons and say why they think so. But truth of the matter is that, look, ultimately it's about how you play on the day. I mean, no one gave Leicester a chance. Granted, Leicester was a one-off at the time they won the Premier League, but I mean they were thereabouts for a few years while things were going on for them before they lost their owner in that unfortunate helicopter crash. But the truth, I mean, we still have to do the business on the pitch, and I mean, given where we are now, I mean, I know it's early days. I mean, who's our next match against? Does anyone know?
It's going to check. Yeah, one of the smaller teams. I'll tell you now.
Yeah, we lost them for a
We
second
have
there.
Bournemouth. We have Bournemouth next.
We have Bournemouth next, right? So Bournemouth,
then Burnley.
right? So no small teams in Premier League anymore. No small teams anymore in the Premier League. I mean,
no, it gets better. Sef, it's Bournemouth, then Burnley, then we have Sheffield United. 9-point banker.
9 points. So in the
listen,
bag.
I know that it's easy to sort of put those points in the bag. I always say take one match at a time, and you play who's in front of you and deal with it on the day, because these things happen in football. I mean, I've known Brentford to beat Man City home and away, right? I've known Forest to beat. I've known Forest to beat Arsenal.
This time we have the ammo. We have the ammo to.
Oh, goodness.
We played Sheffield in the cup last year. We can't freeze like that.
Gentlemen, listen, Bournemouth, Fulham. Oh, Fulham is in EFL Cup.
Yeah. All those teams. Now I feel confident. This is our Spurs, we go play anybody off the park, and all those small teams, we go just burn them, give them like 6 names, make them come out. What are you saying?
I like your talk, man. I like your talk.
Yes, sir. No be like before.
What they call cautiously optimistic. That's the word, isn't it? Right? And that's the attitude we're going to take into this. Having said that, it's great to have. The outcome was quite good, and I thought Tottenham did quite well in terms of tactics, right? How would you? Let's just sort of look at the individual players and try and rate the team today in terms of individual players. So Vicario, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give Vicario?
10. Me, I give him 10. I give him 10. He didn't let anything. Clean sheet, 2 wonderful saves. 10. I give him 10. I would.
Right, so Ben will give him 10 because of 2 wonderful saves and clean sheets, right? So, okay, fair enough. So what would you give him, Deji?
I'll give him 8.
You give him an 8. Okay, I think I'll give him an 8 as well. So
it was very good. It wasn't perfect. It was very good.
Beautiful. I think I'll give him an 8 as well. So it probably averages 9. Right. So let's go to the back four and start from the right.
It's 9.5.
On the right we have Pedro Porro. Pedro Porro, how would you rate Pedro Porro?
I thought it was Porro's best game I've seen him play as a right fullback. Normally he's easily out of position. He's sometimes outpaced and not as crisp in the tackle, but I thought he had a good outing today. It's the best game I've seen him play in that position. I'd give him 7.
Okay. I give him an 8.
Okay. Did you give Porro a 7? Ben gives Porro an 8. I think I'll give him a 7 as well. Only because he gave away the ball a few times in the first half from trying to do a half turn when he got the ball the Vicario and I think Romero at some point. So yeah, he put the team under pressure a couple of times, but it got better as game went on, and he had it. Actual fact, we forgot that he had this amazing chance that hit the bar and or hit the post in the first half. That was
safe.
okay.
Oh no, hit the bar. You're right.
Yeah, he hit the bar. That was an amazing effort from him. If that had gone in, that would have been a worldie. Probably one of the goals of the season so far. But yeah, it's great efforts from him, and it showed again his attacking flair in that position. So I'll probably give him a 7 as well. Yeah. So moving on to Romero. Now, Kuti Romero, Deji.
Yeah.
How would you rate him out of 10?
Kuti had a good game. Yeah. I think he was crisp in the tackle again. I saw some good interventions by him. Didn't waste the ball too much and wasn't as rash as he can be sometimes. I give him a 7. I give him a 7. Yeah, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, all the same
Is it
reasons.
me or I think
well.
it's been a little bit miserly in his marking because Kuti Romero, I mean, given how rash he can be sometimes, today he showed amazing calm. He showed immense, control in every aspect of the game. Even though at the end he tried to wind up one of some Man United players, but hey, I thought he was majestic.
Was he the one? Was he the one that was giving Fernandez all the lip? Because somebody was giving him some major lip. And that's really funny. I saw that Fernandez was well rounded up. Yeah.
Yeah. So
all right, I'll upgrade him to 8.
Upgrade him to 8. That is very grudging, Ben. Yeah. What would you rate Kuti Romero?
Yeah, again, contributing to a clean sheet, and that is forming the basis of how I'm scoring these guys. Because to get a clean sheet, sometimes it's not because of the way you play, but it's because of the way the other team don't play. But I think in this case, it was because of the way they played, and I'm going to give him an 8 as well.
Who's sorry? I didn't. My mic was muted. So next to him was Mickey van der Ven. I mean,
Mickey.
Right before I rate Romero. Let me just give Romero. I'll give him an 8 as well. So I thought Romero did pretty well today. So yes, I agree. 8 is a really good mark for him. Mickey van der Ven. Where do I start? Do you want to go first, Deji, and then we'll look at Ben, and then I'll round it up.
Mickey van der Ven was brought in to play a specific role in Ange ball, and he's a pacey, rangy player who can cover back when the counter attacks because he's so quick. I think we saw the full retinue of his skills today whenever they turned the ball over, and he covered excellently and he tackles very well. He brings the ball out quite well as well, but I think he got into a couple of dribbles that he didn't need to get into earlier on in the game, but he grew into his role very well. I'd give him an 8 as well. I thought he had a good game.
Okay, Ben, what would you give Mickey?
Sorry, I would give Mickey an 8 as well. I agree with everything that Deji said. I'll give him a 8 as well. He played really well. It's a fantastic match to watch.
Yeah, I mean, Deji took the water out of my mouth because he had a few dribbles at the start of the game which didn't go that well, and I thought he settled well down the line. And yeah, that was a brilliant performance from Mickey. 8 is a fantastic score for him. I'll agree with that. Now, Destiny Dogie, right? Ben, what do you think, Destiny? Ben, your mic is muted. I think.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
No, I was saying that Destiny Udogie. We're rating the players one by one, so we're on to Destiny now.
Yeah, Udogie was good. I mean, he's a 20-year-old player, but for 20 years of age and to keep the team with a clean sheet as well. I'm going to give him 8 across the board. I'm going to give them 8s across the board. They were phenomenal.
Fantastic. So yeah, I mean, Deji,
Yeah.
Destiny.
Destiny's debut was amazing. Made me proud to recall his Niger roots. I think he plays the game like a true Niger boy. He has bags of skill, he has stamina, and he has discipline. I love the way he plays football, and I think, believe it or not, we have finally replaced Danny Rose. I never thought I'd hear anybody say that, but we've not had a true proper left back. And even Danny wasn't a proper left back. But this was a proper player. It's a good left back. And we are going to enjoy him because that boy can play ball. I'd give him 8. I thought, not as good as he was against Brentford, but still an 8. He's really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to disagree with your rating so far. I mean, I thought he was actually brilliant today. He was really, really good. He was assured on the ball. He got into really good positions, and he covered well when he needed to. So he performed both his attacking and defensive duties quite well. And his inverted role, he just knows how to play that role so well. It's like he was born to play in that inverted fullback role. Yeah, that was really, really good. Yeah, Destiny. An 8 as well from me. Right, I think the key to this match was probably, as Andrew put it. He says, how did he put it down? Let's just see his comment. He says, Spurs thrived on the brilliance of Sarr and Bissouma. I mean, I can't. It's very difficult to argue with that. I mean, if we're gonna rate, let's rate Sarr first. Who's gonna start? Did you want to take it first?
Yeah, Sarr was magnificent. I until I started speaking to you guys, I had him down as my man of the match. I thought he covered the ground fantastically well. I thought he was disciplined, and he was always in position when he was needed. He played with a maturity that belies his age. He moved the ball well, he passed it well, he ran with it well, and he tackled very well. I give him a 9. I thought it was brilliant, absolutely
Absolutely.
brilliant.
Absolutely. I would have taken you up on that if you hadn't given him a 9, because he crowned it all with the goal as well. Yeah, he crowned it all with the goal as well. So yeah, I'd give him a 9 as well. He deserves it. It was phenomenal.
Right. I was going to give him a 9 as well, but I mean, I think I'll probably add a little bit of 0.5 to it. I said 9.5 because of the goal. Before we look at Bissouma, someone, Andy again says that, was Man United truly good today or extremely poor? And I would say, look, I think you can only play what's in front of you, right? And like as Dave said earlier on, we made them look poor. It wasn't because they were that poor. I thought we bossed the game, just sort of had your. I've said this before, right? So watching handball in preseason, right? And I said this to Chuma when we did one of our programs, right? I thought the movement we had was really, really good. We had this incredible ability to sort of choke teams right up the pitch, so that they didn't have the chance to transition, right? But I was a little bit curious to see how that would work against what I call the better teams, right? So this is the first time we're playing what I call maybe one of the top 6 teams, right? And I thought they did really well. I thought they handled the pressure well. They kind of prevented. Okay, they had a few times when the turnover couldn't be prevented, but by and large, we stood back solidly today. Yeah, I thought that was really good. Now we're doing all of the match stats in terms of what we feel player ratings are. So please feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below and let us know what you think in terms of how the players performed individually. Yeah, so far we've gone up to Sarr. Sarr seems to be the star rating so far. Now come up to Bissouma in the middle of that park. What would you give Bissouma, Deji?
Bissouma was our field marshal. He ran the show defensively and offensively. He was our linchpin. He can't be less than a 9. I thought he was the man of the match. I'd give him a 9. If I could give 10s, which I'm not allowed
You're allowed
to,
to.
I'd give him a 10.
You're the marker,
It
so
wasn't perfect,
you
so I'd
give
give him
who
a
you
9.
want to give a mark to. People
I'm
can
just
only
saying
agree or
that.
disagree with you, but hey, you can give whatever mark you want to give them, you know?
Yeah. I give him a 9. It wasn't perfect.
Right. Okay, so Ben, what do you think about Bissouma?
Well, me, I know they fear to give Marco. I think Busuma, man of the match. For me, the way he was just doing all that shimmy all over the pitch, 10 out of 10 for me. 10 out of 10.
Absolutely
Yeah,
fantastic.
I
have to make an exception for 2 reasons. Hey, I've never given a 10 before. Now, this is the first time I'll give a 10, right? And this is the 2 reasons. A, the last match he played was immense, right? I thought, okay, played against Brentford, maybe Brentford, you wouldn't quite rate them at the same way as maybe Man United, right? Who had people like Casemiro, who had people like Fernandez, you had what's that young man's name, Anthony, and all those people around them. And I thought to myself, today he made them look so ordinary. You know, he actually took the game to them and he bossed that midfield totally. I thought that was absolutely immense. So he can do it against the small boys, he can do it against the big boys. We just want to see what he does against the likes of Brighton, what he does against the likes of Newcastle, what he does against the likes of City, and those guys up the road. We don't want to talk about their name here. I don't know why Deji's wearing a red shirt today. Come on, Deji, what's going on here?
I'm so sorry. I hold my hand up. Sorry.
Right, that's the only oblique reference we'll pay to that team up the road, right? So yes, I thought he did quite well. I mean, I'll give him a 10. Right, Madison. Gosh, another star performance for me today. I thought he did really, absolutely fantastic as well. You know, I thought he did. I'm not going to start this one. You go first, Ben. Tell me, what do you think?
Yeah, Madison was good. You know, it's a good thing that every player, you know, whatever score you give the player doesn't affect the next player, because then you'd be afraid to give everybody 10. But I can't give Matters 10 because I think this is what it was brought to the team to play. We knew what Matters could do, and I think he's shown us what he can do. So for Matters, I'm going to give him a 9. He can do better. I know he can do much better than he did today, but I'll give him a 9 because his all-round performance was just as good as everyone else's. We worked as a team, you know? So I'll give him a 9.
Beautiful. Deji, what do you reckon?
I watched Matters play for Leicester over the years, and I always thought, wow, if only this guy could be playing for Tottenham, I'll be the happiest man alive. And it has come to pass. To me, he is the person who personifies Tottenham Hotspur most in that team. The flair that he shows, the creativity, and the sheer being a maverick that he can be is everything that I want to see in a Spurs player. I thought he had a brilliant game. He controlled, but he was creative, and he flashed in those crosses, and he laid on those passes. Great game. I'll give him a 9.
Right, okay. Andy says he can't give him a 9 because he needs to work harder. My goodness, wow, that's someone's being a bit critical there, eh?
Who does he say needs to work harder? Oh, Madison, right?
Madison, yes. I would give Madison an 8.5.
He must be one of the any out guys, any out brigade.
Yeah, I mean, not because he didn't work so hard, and he didn't do well, or I mean, he didn't have a great performance. But I mean, I thought it will be a little bit difficult to give him the same sort of mark as Bissouma and Sarr for me, you know. So that's the only reason I probably won't mark him in the same league. I'll probably give him an 8.5. But I thought he did really well. You know, I thought he created a lot of opportunities and he got in the right positions and he was really had good movement as well. So that was quite good. So yeah, I mean, I'll give him an 8.5. Right. Now, the 3 guys up front, where do we start? Should we start with Son? Son. Who goes first? Who wants to go first on this one?
I'll go. Son was still the Son that we got towards the tail end of last season. He's still not firing. You know, he's still not the Son I'm used to. I'm used to a Son who takes on defenders and flies at them and scares the bejesus out of them. But I haven't seen that Son yet, and I don't know whether making him a captain has made it worse, because he's got other things to think about. I don't know, but given I don't think you're asking me about the way he played. You're asking me for a score. So for a score, I give him 7.
Deji.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'd give Sonny a 7. But I think Sonny needs a bit of time. I think we're going to see the best of him. Remember, the first game back against Brentford was a low block. There's no way he was getting any joy out of that because his best football is played cutting in. He had more opportunities to do that against United and could probably have scored if somebody didn't get a block in. I think that was later in the second half. So he's going to get into it. He'll get better. I think the more teams we play where there's room behind, the more we're going to see him. And he'll also get opportunities to run in like he used to run into those passes from Kane. Once he gets on the score sheet, I think we're going to see our old Sonny back. I think he'll be fine. I don't think we've lost it. I don't think he's losing anything by the captaincy, but I just think his confidence is a little bit short. And once those goals fly in, he'll be back to his best. But 7 definitely today.
Okay. I can't disagree with your assessment so far. I'm watching some of the highlights of the match, and I thought he came back a few times and he had some good efforts as well. But I mean, granted, he hasn't quite hit the heights, But he's playing in a new system with Ange, and so yes, he probably needs a bit of an underlap from guy who's meant to be on the left wing team. So he just needs to get a bit better understanding with Udoje, and work that period, because I saw that when Perisic came on, he and Davies had that understanding about having to underlap and overlap, and he sort of did that really well, and that sort of created a lot of openings and overloads on that side of the pitch, and created opportunities for us to have efforts on targets today. So yeah, I mean 7 I think is a fair score for Son. Kulusevski. Now, Kulu, tell me, I think he created 1 goal, right? But there's still something that is still not quite right in my view, because it's not quite the Kulusevski we had when it was like, scaring defenders and just couldn't play him, even though you knew what he was going to do. You just couldn't play him. What's happening with Kulu? Tell me.
I'm a bit worried about him. I initially thought it was a confidence thing, because he's not going past players like he was doing early on. I thought maybe it was also the fact that he doesn't have combinations with the person playing behind him the way he did initially. And so he's unable to give and go and receive the ball towards the byline, in which case he would need to cross with his right foot, which is what he ended up doing on the one occasion that he got the ball across. What he tends to do more than anything else is cutting, and it seems not to have the confidence to try to go past the player. So he just leads the ball back, and that's what he was doing all afternoon until that one occasion when he got to the byline. I would give him a 6 and hope that he's going to do better.
Okay, Ben.
Yeah, I can't say I disagree with it. I think Kulu, he's only got 1 leg. His right leg, you pointed out correctly, they use it once. But the left leg, he always cuts in. And I think most of the defenses have actually read him. But I think the mark of a good player, he's still young, the mark of a good player is to change it up. He's got to change it up, because otherwise he gets found out every time. So, yeah, I give him a 6, because he just needs to do a bit more sussing out of the opposition and try and play a different kind of ball, because you keep doing that same thing. They keep finding you out. Then you become a liability for the club or for the team.
Well,
So,
you
yeah,
all say that though, but if you think about it, right, the goal came from him using his right foot, you know, got to the byline, pulled the ball back to on his right foot, and the goal came from that. So what else can you ask for? I mean, when he needed to use the right foot, he used it. It resulted in the goal.
To do it more.
Okay, he needs to do it more.
No, Such. He needs to do it more. Exactly.
Because if you didn't get that goal, if you didn't get the goal, we would have said it's a waste of space.
Yeah.
So he should do that more.
Yeah.
You should do that more.
Yeah.
If he does it twice next time,
and so
I'll
do
give
you
him
know
one more
what?
point.
Yeah. And the more he does it, the more dangerous he becomes, because then defenders realize that he can go either way. So they don't just think, oh yeah, it's Kulu, just show him onto his left foot. He can go wide as well. Then you have a real player on your hands. Yeah, that's the key.
Very interesting. So that's very interesting. Coming up to Mr. Richarlison now.
Player still, man.
Now, Richarlison has big boots to fill. I mean, given the fact that we just lost Harry Kane to Bayern Munich, or he's gone, or left for Bayern Munich, and of course the expectation is that he would fill the in quote void, right? But I hear some people saying, "Who's Harry Kane?" Like, I mean, do we have the players? Who's that? I mean, like, we score goals, whether or not it's there, you know. But
Harry who?
Harry who? Right. However, I mean, no disrespect to Harry Kane, of course. I mean, if you know Ange and his history, right, you probably find that he actually thrives on bringing up new players and not having what you might call a star man, if you like, in the team. And because the goals come from a variety of sources, he's not just one man that you rely on for goals. We've had how many different scorers so far? 4 different scorers in 2 games, you know, and 2 of the people two of who have scored so far. I mean, they weren't on the pitch last week. I mean, Salah came in the second half last week, and he wasn't even there last week. Davies was not even there last week. So we had Emerson scoring last week, and also Romero. So it tells you that goals come from a variety of sources. As long as the goals keep going in, I think that's what matters from a goal scoring perspective. However, you still need your strikers to score for their confidence. You need them to score for, you know, to give them that sort of vibe that sort of keeps the team going. Know that if you're chasing the game, or you need to score that vital goal, you can rely on your striker to bang in the goals. But now it doesn't seem as if he's in that position yet. But it's early days. Granted, last season he was injured for most of the season. So he was injured for a good part of the season. He didn't quite play, I mean, extensively. I mean, for continuous for a very long time. And like you said earlier on, he looked really dejected, being taken off today. And you think maybe he could have been handled a little bit better by leaving him there, right? But I thought Ange wanted to try a new system of, trying to see a variation, having Son up front to see what that would look like, you know, and then bringing on Perisic to the left hand side, which actually worked quite well. I mean, in the end, because that resulted in the second goal, and kind of confused or sort of messed up Man United's thinking, if you like. So yeah, I thought that was a master stroke on reflection from Ange. Now, Richarlison, if you're going to mark him up on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give him?
5 or 10
I
on
would
a
give
scale
him
of 1 to 5.
I would give him 9 for effort. Well, I would score him 6. I'd score him 6.
Some would say that's generous, but there you go. Carry on.
You know, he's trying, and hopefully he'll get a goal sooner or later. But you know, it's not working for him now. Yeah, give him a 6. I don't want to denigrate and give him 5 because it won't be fair. He might start crying and unfollow me, and I'm following him at the moment, and he's following me.
Right. So we had a few people who had a few cameos that came in at the end. I'm not gonna rate them just for now because I mean they didn't. I mean we our substitute played only about 20 minutes, but I thought Perisic came on and did a good job. Man Solomon also did a good job when he came on as well, you know, and so did Davis. So I thought this I would sort of say we kind of give them a general rating. What would be the general rating for all three in just one or two sentences, if you like? Deji, do you want to go first?
Yeah, rating Ange for his substitutions. I thought I'd give him an 8.5 out of 10. Those substitutions showed our strength in depth. They showed our versatility. And I think other teams watching would have thought, wow, if they can bring on a kid like this, Solomon, with 10 minutes, 15 minutes to go, that guy can change the game. I think it showed the squad in a very good light. It's 8.5 for those substitutions generally.
Great. Ben,
Yeah,
you look like
I've got to
you
agree with
you
you.
award a higher mark. Is that me or?
No, no. I've got to agree with you because I'm sure did you realize is those subs that got us the second goal. So no, that's why he's giving him 8.5, and I agree with you, 8.5 for the subs because it was magic. Because the subs gave us the goal and showed the strength and depth in the team. So 8.5 is cool. It's good for me.
Keep your comments coming in. Thank you so much for your contributions. We really love them. Dave Clark, fantastic. Andy, thank you so much for your comments. Said some was poor, and Dave also said that if you have to take into account of today's game that United didn't crowd Busuma and Sa out of the game, whereas they did to Madison, but he found a way to overcome this shackle, so it must be a 10. There you go. So I thought overall the team did really well today. I mean, if we're going to rate the manager on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give Ten Hag? Sorry, Ten Hag. Sorry. What would you give Ange today for his role in a match on a scale of 1 to 10?
You want me to have a go at that?
Please.
I'm in love with the guy, 9.5. That is my man.
All right, we'll check back in January and we'll check back in May. Okay, it will see if that love affair continues. Okay.
But right now, follow for the guy. 9.5. He should carry go.
Ben.
Yeah, I'd give him a 9 simply because Angie Ball is a thing now. It's a thing, and it's working so soon after he whispered in their ears. I call him a Spurs whisperer. You know, like how you have the horse whisperer and dog whisperer. I call him a Spurs whisperer. Nice. He just whispered sweet nothings in the Tottenham players' ears, and they wake up and start playing Angie Ball. Fantastic. So I'm giving him a 9. That's me, Dan. I know David's giving him a 7, but that's probably because he wants to laugh.
Dave is giving Ange a 7, right? So hey, I think I'll give Ange a solid 8.5. You know, because I think for starters we kind of let Man United come on to us. I mean, granted they're not a shabby team. They've been together for quite a while now under under Ten Hag. Even though it's had a full season with them, back four that he's playing. I've been playing together for, I mean, quite a while, so they know each other very well. And for us to give them that much trouble today, testament to the efficacy of Ange's type of football, you know, and the fact that he gave played a almost like a cautious game, if you like, of playing a 4-2-3-1 as opposed to the normal 4-3-3 that he normally plays, you know, and that's for me was maybe showed a bit of respect to Man U's attacking play, you know, at the same time being mindful of us being caught on transition as well. So I thought he did quite well in managing that turnover and the transition as well. So I thought we did quite well in doing all of that. And the substitutions were, like you said earlier on, spot on. You know, they were effective. They were like the right substitutions, and the tactical change he made, moving Son to the middle, on the face of it, would not seem to work. but it worked because it allowed a bit more overload on the left hand side to allow Perisic and Davis to overlap and underlap on that side. So that works quite a treat. And Man Solomon, the brief cameo he had on, showed you what it's capable of. Guy is going to be a danger and a handful when he settles down that team. So yeah, we looks like we've got an area of talents. It's shown us some reason that these guys that we didn't sort of rate so highly last season, for whatever reason, he's brought out the best in them in a matter of a few games. The preseason and the first couple of games, it tells us that he's doing something right, and you can see that people are playing to his instructions. By a few, last week we had a couple of errors that led to goals. This week we didn't see that many errors, so the errors are reducing. Of course, they had a time. Of course, teams are going to create chances. You can't rule that out. The fact is how you respond to those opportunities and those that go against you. And I thought we did very well overall today. So I'll give Ange a solid 8.5. That's mine. So if you agree with me or you don't agree with me, let's see your scores. If you're commenting from home, wherever you're watching, thank you so much for all the comments you put on so far. We really appreciate it. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Share with your colleagues, friends, relations, wherever they may be, And of course, if you want to get notified anytime we go live, click on the bell button and you get notified of the times we release videos or go live. Final words before we call it quits tonight. Ben.
Yeah. See, the thing that made me laugh so much is that Roy Keane, big mouth Roy Keane, he had so much to say about Tottenham before the match. He was being very negative. He was like, yeah, man, Tottenham, this is it. And then during the match, he was like, especially halftime, he was like, well, he was having a go at Poro and Udoji, saying, why are they trying to do the half turn? They think they're Man City, blah, 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 blah. Then at the end of the match, he started slagging off his own team and said that they brought on Martial as if they might as well have brought on his granny. That Man United were crap. So for me, it was just watching the story of Roy Keane from the beginning of the match to the end. It was a barrel of laughs. So yeah, that made my day, watching Roy Keane eat humble pie.
Fantastic. I'm still loving Dave's comment. It says, I've given Ange a 7, but I want to see Solomon and Perisic start under a system. And next comment he says, he will have given Ange an 8, but his celebrations are rubbish. Thanks for that. Keep them coming in. If you're watching this live, fantastic. If you're watching this later on, always please leave your comments in the comment section, and we'll go over them and respond in due course. Final words from you, Deji.
Yeah, it was a great outing. Lifted my spirits. My dreams of what Ange Ball would look like are now just limitless. It's early days yet. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but certainly, if the attitude and the philosophy is what we've got to look at over the first couple of games, then we have a lot to be optimistic about. Fingers crossed, and touch wood, it should be a good season.
Absolutely fantastic, guys. It's been great having you. It's been fun, and we're here to celebrate a Tottenham win against a maybe not too great Man United side, but hey, you can only play what's in front of you, and we did that very well today. And yeah, thanks for all those who joined us today, and see you next week when we play Bournemouth. I think we're playing them away, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Meantime, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Good night, guys. Nice one. See you again soon.